Hi, how are you in this fine day? I'm Dale Lars Anderson, and I want to talk to you about software for senior citizens. Now, you might be asking, what's software for senior citizens? And I classify that as software that can help us lead a richer, fuller life. And two things I'm going to talk about today are memory and organization. And they're kind of interrelated, but let's talk about memory first. Memory can be deteriorated by a number of things. First of which we probably encounter is injury. Now myself, I've had injury to my brain a number of different times in my life. I was in a really bad car accident when I was 10 and went through the windshield of a truck, and that hurt, and it did cause a concussion. And then I was beat up real bad when I was 14, and that caused problems. And then I got knocked out a couple times in football, that added to it. And about 12 years ago, I got bucked off a horse in Montana and ended up with another brain injury. And it's not fun. And this spring, to top it all off, I decided I'd go trim some branches out the way of my internet signal. And I had a branch about 6 inches around come down, hit me in the head. I was at the time standing on the top rung of a 20-foot ladder and run the chainsaw. And I got down, and I knew I had to get down fast because I was bleeding bad. Opened up the forehead, clear to the bone, split my nose open, broke my nose. And I realized I had a bit of a problem when my daughter came out to see me after it happened. She showed up in my yard, and I did not recognize her immediately until I saw one of my grandchildren, and the two of them kind of mixed. And so what I'm saying is, as a senior citizen, as you get older, you've got accumulation of injuries, and they do take their toll. Now, another thing that happens is just plain aging process can affect your memory. I'll put it this way, it doesn't get any better. Maybe some of you are lucky. I can't help everybody, but I can help somebody, okay? And so besides the injury process and the aging process, you can talk about dementia, and that's a bad deal because it don't get better. If you have dementia, or at least most of the types of dementia, it's a one-way street. However, later on I'm going to give you a link to some books, and in that there is a man that has had severe dementia for I think about 3 years now, and he managed to write a book about mind mapping. Now what is mind mapping? I'll explain it a little later on. But essentially, below this video, you'll see a mind map. And it's a mind map of this presentation so that I can help my organization and memory. Now, what is organization? It could be as simple as a filing system with some folders and some notes in it. And we're all familiar with the lists. You have a shopping list, you have a to-do list, you have an events list, you have a birthday list, you have address lists. Well, they've got software for that. And that software can help you create checklists for repetitive tasks. You know, an aircraft pilot has a checklist. They go through that every time they start up that airplane, and you wouldn't want your aircraft pilot to come bebopping in at the last minute, turn the key, and take off They've got a job to do. They've got to make sure everything is operational. Even a mechanic has a checklist on what to do when they service your car, or at least every mechanic that is worth a salt. And there's a checklist to open a business. There's a checklist to close a business. And there's testing. I worked for an electronics firm for over 20 years, and I started off in testing, and we had written testing procedures. We had checklists on what to do on certain individual printed circuit boards, on a system component, and then the total system. You go down, you check off all these things, and maybe you write down some of the parameters that you found. And that brings us to manuals. Manuals, you have employee manuals, operation manuals, purchasing manuals, buying manuals. Companies have all kinds of manuals. There's manuals on procedures. I think one of the famous things on checklists and manuals is from McDonald's. The fries is always on the left. And I thought, is that true? And I looked at a number of McDonald's I've gone into since, and yep, the fries is on the left. And most franchises have manuals for the franchise owners. And that's the reason they can give you a business that's kind of, what do they call that? A business in a box. Yep. A franchise is sort of like a business in a box. They have all these things documented and creates an organization that can be profit producing. What are the two pieces of software I want to talk about today? First is FreeMind. FreeMind is that mind map just below this video. You can look down on it right there. And first of all, the reason I use it, there's a number of good mind mapping pieces of software, but they all cost a lot of money. And the one I was most interested in, not only does it cost a lot of money, but they only let you use it on one machine. So if you've got a couple, we all got a couple computers of some kind, but it cost about $100 a pop, and I don't like it when they do that, because if your machine crashes, guess what? You're out $100. I've had that happen to me before. So anyway, I like something that has a reasonable price to it, but I use this FreeMind in part because it's free, and not only is it free for me, but it's free for you. So if I'm going to be showing senior citizens what they can do, I better have something that is reasonably priced, or better yet, free. And this is a nice little piece of software. There's really only two commands you absolutely need to know, and one is insert and the other is enter. And if you decide to go in it, you can go ahead and get it. And it's great for documentation, and it's great for outlining. You can outline with Word, but Word is very linear, and mind mapping is what you make it. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And performance of tasks, it's flexible. It's easy to change. What might be a high priority today might be number 3 tomorrow, and I can adjust it on a mind map. Very easy. Another thing that any mind mapping software does is it helps you utilize your right brain. Now I put a few pictures on my mind map, and what that does is it uses part of the right brain. And the right brain can help the left brain. The left brain is what we normally use for rigid task. It's what we read and write with. The right side has to do more with our creative side and our visual side. Since my map is visual, there are lines connecting everything, it can give me a good overall glance. Okay, this is what we're covering today. Okay, let's start off here. Now, I'm not going to go into too much today. I'll do a separate video on FreeMind, but essentially you start off at 1 o'clock on the clock normally, and you work your way around back to, say, 11 o'clock. Now in this case, I've only got a couple of points, so I started at 3 and the other one at 9, but you always start at 1 and work your way around. So right now we've covered the memory, we've covered the, there we go again, we've covered the memory, we covered the organization, we covered FreeMind. So we've gone 1, 2, 3. Now the last one is Evernote. Evernote is a great little piece of software. You can get it for free to begin with. Eventually you're going to want to get the paid, because after a while they reduce you down to 2. You're going to use it on 2 machines. I have at least 3 or 4 that I like to use on. So I went to paid version eventually. But you can do that later on down the line. Go ahead and get it and use it. And it's great. You can do bookmarking with it. Web clipping, it means you can take pictures with it of the web page you're looking at. You can copy the entire web page. You can copy just articles within that web page. And now the other thing it has, it can have, I think, like up to 200 folders. But I read a book. The guy had a good point. He only uses 3 folders. And he makes maximum use of what they call tags. Now, I have 3 folders that I use. You don't have to do it this way. I've got a list of, I've got a link to some good books that you can read on this. But this guy uses 3 folders. One is called In, or Inbox. And that's just like maybe you worked in an office where people gave you paperwork, it went in your inbox. Now the inbox gets kind of big if you don't start sorting it out. So I do that every couple of days. I go over my inbox and I sort things out. And I either put it in the working file. That means I'm going to work on this for pretty short term. Or I put it in my archive file where, okay, this is good information, I want to save it. Now, how do I keep track of all that stuff? Well, I fill out a tag. And there's something like 100,000 tags you can put in. And that means you got plenty of stuff to keep you going. And a good example is, if I wanted to tag this video, I would, well, first of all, maybe I want to save a bookmark on where this video is at, so I can reference myself. Okay, I put it in my inbox, and I tag it as video. And then I'll tag it as software for senior citizens. Well, I don't want to put that long a tag, so I'll just tag it for seniors. And between the seniors and the video, I should be able to find this video. And again, you can do it anywhere it makes sense to you. Matter of fact, I think that's the way to do with all this stuff. Whatever makes sense to you. So, I hope you found this helpful. I thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you later on. This is Dale Lars Anderson saying goodbye.